Howdy, Ando here from Happy Life Martial Arts. Let's talk about those fancy jumping, spinning head kicks that we all love to see in movies and video games. But what about in the world of real self-defense? Is it a good idea to be practicing jumping, spinning head kicks? Well, generally speaking, it's not a great idea to jump up off the ground in a real-life self-defense situation. And it's usually not a great idea to take a chance kicking up at the head in a real-life self-defense situation. So what about spinning? Is there a place in your self-defense training to practice moves like a spinning back fist or a spinning back kick? I say yes. And if you stick around, my good friend Bobby Badgeiski and I will tell you why. Okay, for self-defense, I think we would all agree that if this bad guy is saying, I'm gonna kill you, and I'm saying, hey, I don't wanna fight, and we're presuming that I cannot run, and there's no help available, and I have to stand my ground here. Well, when this bad guy is coming at me, the last thing I wanna do is show him my back and turn around. Agreed, right. So what happens? Well, you join a martial arts club, or you've seen too many movies, and you start learning some spinning techniques. And you say, oh, that's cool. If I can just be clever enough to get that front foot across that center line, then I can do all kinds of cool spinning moves. I'm gonna kill you. Hey, I don't wanna fight. He keeps pressing, but I'm clever. I figure out how to put my foot across that center line. And there it is, just like in class, boom. I can do spinning techniques all day long. Gosh, it seems so great. Spinning techniques rule. Except they don't. The problem here is that when you learn spinning techniques, you might be young, fast, strong, flexible, and most importantly, in control of the training. When I'm sparring with someone, perhaps my partner's not that great, and perhaps I'm in my athletic prime. So spinning around, initiating that movement on my time works pretty well. But I've got news for you. As you get older, or if your partners are better, or if you just get caught off guard no matter who you are, you might find out that those spinning techniques don't work so well anymore. And it might start eroding your confidence right away in your sparring. You start getting dumped more. You start getting jammed more. You start missing more. And very quickly in your training, you're gonna start thinking, hey, spinning techniques do not work. Don't do them in sparring. In self-defense, that's even worse. Definitely don't do them in self-defense. So this is where spinning techniques get this reputation sometimes of being fancy and not practical. But let's change the paradigm a little bit. Okay, I just said that the spinning techniques are good when you're fast, strong, clever, and when you're initiating on your timing. But what about if we switch all that, where you're slower, older, weaker, you're caught off guard, and the bad guy initiates your timing? The bad guy initiates the spin, like this. He's saying, I'm gonna kill you. I'm saying, hey, I don't wanna fight. Crack! He pops you in the face. Now, what's the most common attack that you're gonna see from a bad guy? The big overhand right? You know that. So if you're seeing this big overhand right, they're grabbing or pushing, measuring, and crack, they hit you with that big right. Well, if it's your bad day, then boom, you got hit. But look what just happened. I got that step across the center line. Look what else happened. Which hand is closer now to the bad guy? This one. Now we're getting somewhere. So I was starting off squared up with my hands up. I felt good. Nothing is broken. I'm still in charge here. But bad day, self-defense situation. Things aren't going the way I wanted to. I get cracked. Or he grabs my shirt and he shoves me and he turns me. Or he's young and strong and he kicks me in the head. Whatever the situation is, he starts the spin. Now I have a choice. I can try to fight my way back the way I came, or I can just keep going. I would recommend that when you get jacked over here and your weight just shifted, trying to overcome the inertia and reverse this direction is a little bit of hard work. However, If you crack, shift, and keep going, this is that magic moment that martial artists love to talk about. You know that old phrase, use their force against them. Well, I don't see a lot of examples of that usually, but here's one. I'm showing you one. The harder they hit you, the harder they initiate that spin, the faster and stronger your arms should be flying around. So let's make that technique number one that I recommend in your self-defense training. Practical self-defense, a spinning side hammer. Now, you might say spinning back fist. To me, a back fist means that you're literally using the back of your fist, which means you're using small bones, which I don't like. If it's for sport and you have a glove on, or if you happen to be walking down the street in real life with your gloves on, weirdo, then fine. That's just fine. Aim with the knuckles. But if you're not, if you're trying to hedge your bets, then I'm going to usually use the side of my fist on this. So call it what you will, but let's make that your first official spinning technique for self-defense. Prepare yourself to get cracked, and then get this arm up and swing it through, swing that around, and make that your first move. Now, that arm has two functions. Yes, you can just whip that around, either with your eyes guiding it or just blindly send that thing around. Either way is fine, as long as it's self-defense. But the other way that that arm comes in handy is that it puts some bones in between you and that bad guy. So in that sense, it becomes a brace. So even if you really got clocked, but you've trained yourself to spin around, as you take that shot, crack, boom, but this arm comes up, as they're advancing and coming after you, you have some spacer here to kind of reorient yourself and get your balance back. So I would practice this a couple of different ways, but always starting with this idea that you weren't prepared to spin, and then you were forced to spin, and now you're coming through with that strike, or a brace, or you're stumbling into it. That's up to you and your imagination to make it the worst case scenario turning into a best case scenario. Take something that you didn't want to happen and turn it into something that they don't want to happen. Now, there's an even better technique here, I think. That one's pretty good. But let's talk about a spinning back kick, or it might turn into a spinning side kick. I don't want to get into semantics here. But let's just talk about a spinning kick. To me, the spinning back kick is even better than the spinning side hammer or spinning back fist, because most bad guys, like I just said, are headhunters. So they're coming right after you, and they just connected with this big right. It's so beautiful. They're already seeing you get yourself off balance there. So now what are they going to do? They're going to keep coming after your head. They're still headhunting. They got blood in the water, and they taste it. So they're coming after you, which means they're not focused low. They're focused high. So my foot is pretty much off their radar. So, same thing. I'm going to kill you. Hey, I don't want to fight. Crack! What just happened? All right, I just crossed my center line. My weight is shifted, and this foot is straight on with the target to hit center mass and stick something in their way. Now, this is an important point. The back kick, I believe, is your best weapon here because it's the fastest kick you're going to get off the ground, right? As you start this turn, zoom, the foot's already ready to go. It's already in line with the target. So picking that up and just sending it out is fast. If you decide you'd rather do like a spinning crescent kick or hurricane kick, cyclone kick, some fancier thing, whatever you call it, it's going to take a little longer, okay? You take the shot, crack. You want this foot to come back so you're turning all the way around. But right here, maybe you get caught halfway. As they rush you or continue their punching, I have no base over here, so I'm going to get knocked down. If I insist on coming all the way back around to do a crescent kick or something full frontal here, full frontal kicking. That's right, I said that. If I'm going to choose to come all the way around, well, again, I have no base back here. So if he keeps rushing and I mistime that, especially since I just got clocked, again, I'm going to get dumped. But the back kick doesn't have that problem. Structurally, it's very sound. So here I am. Hey, man, I don't want to fight. I wish I could run. I wish someone would help me. I can't. So, crack. When I throw the back kick, boom. Even if he rushes in, even if he's still punching, and I get pushed this way, my body is built to go that way. It's not that big a deal. If I have to take the shot, if I have to take the force, In that moment, I would rather have it with my knees and my body and my hips going this way, so then I can turn around or run or whatever I have to do. So for that reason, I don't recommend taking shots and then trying to spin around with something frontal or even side. Again, if you have time, crack, you see daylight, you can turn that into more of a side kick. To me, we're just splitting hairs here. The idea is keep your body structured so that you're still strong and catching as much of your balance as possible. Would you do a forward roll from there? Could you even do that? Can we fit 2 fancy moves into the same video? That might be too crazy. Crack! I'm going down and I'm turning. So you throw that kick and then you do a forward roll to get away. That might be too crazy. All right, that's my positive spin on spinning techniques. Remember to always practice taking a hit or having things go horribly wrong in your martial arts practice. If you do, I think you'll find there's always time to practice a couple of spinning techniques. I think that's the best way to psychologically and physically prepare to turn a bad situation around, literally and metaphorically. If you like this video, thanks for sharing with someone else who might like it. Until I see you next time, keep spinning and keep fighting for a happy life.